Marjorie Greene is a simple character. She likes her ignorance and she likes the spotlight. And what better way to get more of the spotlight than to try to pick a fight with a congressperson who's actually doing their job? Now, along the way, she's gonna demonstrate that first part though, the ignorance. In this case, ignorance that stands out even from other Republican politicians when it comes to climate change and how all of that works. Here she is at a recent town hall meeting talking about climate change and the Green New Deal.
We discussed about the infrastructure plan, the Green New Deal. The infrastructure plan is going to save us all and solve all the climate justice issues. But I keep asking this question and no one's answered it yet. How much taxes and how much money did the people back in the Ice Age spend to warm up the earth to not Tell me. Maybe perhaps we live on a ball that rotates around a sun that flies through the universe, and maybe our climate just changes. Yeah. Right? And I don't think a whole lot of spending is going to do anything about it. No. It's just going to spend a lot of money. And aren't we suckers? Aren't Americans the suckers? Well, I'll tell you what the Green New Deal and our new infrastructure plan will do. It's kind of bring us down to net zero carbon emissions, right? So we've got to stop using oil and coal, right? Because that makes a lot of sense to a little girl named AOC from New York. Yeah.
Okay, so there was a lot of ignorance there. The throwing in a little girl named AOC, everything about her, Anyway, Anna, what do you think?
I think that AOC is someone who generates a lot of media attention. And when you are a Republican lawmaker or a wannabe leftist on Twitter, one of the easiest ways to draw attention to yourself is to attack one of the most popular members of Congress. If you have legitimate critique for AOC, I think that that's worth listening to. But clearly there was none of that with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, there's very little substance with that woman to begin with. But this is a little trick that I see happening with people who just want to draw attention to themselves. I would be far more interested in hearing whether Marjorie Taylor Greene has any policy proposals or solutions for the instability that Americans are feeling today. Does she have anything to say about that? Or is she gonna continue latching onto culture war issues and attacking AOC in order to give people the illusion of actually working on their behalf? That's what Marjorie Greene is doing. That's what most GOP lawmakers are doing. And the second we see them doing it, guys, we need to refuse to take the bait and call it what it is. It's nothing more than posturing and giving people the optics of working for them, when in reality, these lawmakers are doing nothing for their constituents. They're doing nothing in providing solutions for the absolute bleak future that we're dealing with right now, and the bleak present that we're dealing with right now. That's really what's going on here. That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah, well, look, there's a little bit of silver lining, I guess, in this, as was pointed out by Matt Gunnarsson in the super chat. At least she seems to agree that the earth is round. That's true. She called it a ball. Yeah, no, that's good. And she acknowledges that it goes around the sun. So conservatives have started to catch up a little bit. But yeah, look, nobody's gonna learn anything from her, but I still feel like I should try. When a politician says, I don't know, maybe like we go around the sun and the climate changes, and I don't think a little thing like the Green New Deal is gonna change that. The follow-up question should be, first of all, what are your qualifications to make that determination? What research did you do? Who did you talk to? Because the thing is, it's easy for you, a former like fitness club owner, to say all of the climate science is wrong, but they seem to think there's something to it. So maybe you should talk to them. Maybe you should meet with them. Maybe you should explain why your analysis of climate change is more accurate than the bulk of the scientific community over a half century. And she's not gonna do that, and she can't do that, but we as voters can be a little bit better at expecting that sort of thing. Because it's not always going to be the dumbest Republicans in the country that are saying things that aren't supported by the evidence or by the science. There are plenty of Democrats that are going to stand against policies, and even incredibly popular policies, for reasons that aren't actually actually substantive. Like Joe Manchin saying that, the whole country doesn't need any more than $11 an hour minimum wage. Like, we can take a look at the actual cost of living in different areas. We can take a look at how that has changed over time and his own history on this. And we can expect a little bit more and hopefully ask follow-up questions based on that. It's easy with Marjorie Greene, I get that, but we should be prepared to turn those cannons on our own politicians too. Remember, we don't worship them, they work for us, at least theoretically.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.